State-ranked powers collide in Week 4 of the Texas high school football season. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks presented by Visit Arlington, your guide to Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to Week 4 of the 2019 Texas high school football season. 3 games in the books, and we're starting to get into games that really actually matter. I'm talking about district games that are going to determine who goes to the playoffs and who is sitting at home. Not everybody's in district play, including we got some major non-district matchups, but you're starting to feel like the season's hitting its stride. For now, though, we start in Malakoff. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Tiger Stadium in Malakoff. It is a battle on Cedar Creek Lake as the Grandview Zebras take on the Malakoff Tigers. What are the keys to this matchup? Well, key number 1, we meet again. This is the 3rd time that these two teams are going at it, and you may remember the last time that they met. That's right, this is a rematch of the 3A Division I state championship game from a year ago. Grandview has won the first 2 matchups between these two squads, and they've done it in really impressive fashion with an outstanding defensive effort. And right now, it's easy to think that maybe Grandview just has Malakoff's number. Now, the Tigers are loaded for bear, and they are the number 2 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football's 3A Division I rankings for a reason. This team is really talented, and for the first time, they will be playing in the friendly confines of Tiger Stadium. Does that help, or will Grandview continue to dominate the Tigers? Key number 2, Malakoff's front 7. And when you're looking at this Tigers defense, I think that this is where the strength lies. Linebacker Colby Rush is the undisputed leader of this defense, and it's easy to see why he is all over the field. Not to mention big defensive lineman Zamir Ruiz, who is a load up front and will be a problem for this Grandview front. Now, they're going up against a big challenge, and a challenge that they're kind of used to, in quarterback Dane Yench, the outstanding dual-threat quarterback for the Zebras. This is a guy who I think does the majority of his damage when he's moving outside of the pocket. It's going to be up to the front 7 for Malakoff to contain him. Can the front 7 for Malakoff have a big game? And key number 3, Grandview's versatility. Everywhere you look on this Zebras roster, you see guys who play big roles on both sides of the ball. We already mentioned Dane Yench. Remember, he's their star quarterback and a big-time playmaker in the secondary. Remember, he was the guy who won both offensive and defensive MVP in the state championship game last year. That's not to mention guys like Elijah Golden, who is a running back and linebacker, and big junior Demetrius Crownover, who's a defensive lineman and a big weapon at the tight end spot. The Zebras have the versatility edge. Can they make it count in this rematch of a state championship game? Who am I picking? I'm going with Grandview. I think the Zebras just have Malakoff's number right now, but I do think that this game plays out a lot like the first game, which was really close and relatively low scoring. Both these defenses are playing extremely well, and I think that they're going to have good matchups for teams that they are particularly familiar with. But the difference for me in this one is the balance of the Grandview attack. Whether it's Dane Yench, the quarterback, or the running game with Elijah Golden, I think that gives them a little bit of an edge. Now, Keevy Rose, the running back for Malakoff, is playing at an extremely high level right now. And if he has a huge game, I think the Tigers can pull off the win. But for now, I think number 1 beats number 2. Give me Grandview to take down Malakoff. To the Houston area we go, 7 p.m. Friday night at Hall Stadium in Missouri City. It is a 5A district opener as the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes take on the Manville Mavericks. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, Marshall's game breakers, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. Devon Chan is a bona fide stud for this Marshall attack, and he can do a little bit of everything. Yes, he's an outstanding running back, but I think he can be even more dangerous as a receiver out of the backfield. And that's not to mention quarterback Malik Hornsby, who is a star in his own right and I think is getting even better. There are going to be plays to be made in this game. Can Marshall hit a few home runs? Key number 2, Manville spreading it out. This is a Manville attack led by quarterback Tucker Yarbrough that I think you can't really key in on one guy. In fact, 6 different receivers have caught a touchdown through their first 3 games. That's really hard to do at any level, especially at the 5A level. Tucker Yarbrough has been very sharp, a guy spreading the ball around. What will the Marshall defense do to counteract that, or will Manville just have a field day? And key number 3, defense, anyone? So, look, we've spent a lot of time breaking down this game, talking about the offensive weapons here, and it's because That's probably going to be what decides this matchup. This is the 4th year in a row that these two teams are playing, and in the first 3 meetings, the game averaged 85 points scored. That includes last year's 52-51 thriller last year where Marshall was able to edge Manville. This is a huge, high-scoring game that may only need 1 or 2 stops to win it. Which defense can come up with those big plays? Who am I picking? I'm going with Fort Bend Marshall. I think being at home certainly helps, but let's also remember that they had a slight edge over Manville last year. I think that may end up carrying over. And remember, they won that game without Malik Hornsby. This was the game before he was ruled eligible last year. But the name to know here for me is Norman Baker. He is the defensive stud for this Marshall team. I think that he's the guy who comes up with the big play. Now look, Manville has been fantastic this year. I think Kevin Hall has really got this program trending in the right direction. And Tucker Yarbrough, their quarterback, is good enough to put the team on his back and carry them to a win. But for now, I like the Buffaloes to bring home a district opening win. Huge game in San Antonio this week, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Lenoff Stadium in Cibolo as the Steel Knights welcome in the Converse Judson Rockets. And I think these are probably the 2 best teams in San Antonio opening up district play against one another. Hard to argue with this kind of firepower. Wyatt Beagle, the quarterback for Steel, has been really sensational, a dual threat guy you want to keep your eye on. And not to mention, they have Jalen Jones, who really might be the best defender in the state of Texas. They take aim against Converse Judson and an offense that is straight up rolling right now. Running back DeAnthony Lewis has been a revelation for this Rockets team, and I think that quarterback Mike Chandler feels a lot more comfortable back there knowing that he's got Lewis by his side. I think this game is close, and I think these two teams are trending up, but I like Judson to go on the road and get a win. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Robert Nail Memorial Stadium in Albany. It's a really fun matchup between the Hawley Bearcats and the Albany Lions. Hawley made a big impression last week by outgunning Hamlin in a shootout, and now can they do it against Albany, Hamlin's district rival? A lot to like about this game, most notably the stars on both sides. Colton Marshall, the running back for Hawley, has been terrific, and Albany quarterback Ben West is worth the price of admission himself. I think this game has a chance to be pretty high scoring. Both these offenses have a chance to get out and run, but I think Hawley has the hot hand. I think the Bearcats keep rolling. Give me Hawley. And let's go to Central Texas, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Mike Rosa Athletic Complex in Holland. The Holland Hornets welcome in the Crawford Pirates, and Holland made waves a couple weeks ago when they knocked off Mart, and it's easy to see why everybody is talking about them, specifically their defense. They have given up 16 points all year, and they do not look like they are going to slow down anytime soon. Well, now they take on this Crawford team that very quietly has put together a fantastic start with their outstanding and trademark versatility led by Tate Abel, a two-way star. I think this game is close, and I do think it is low scoring, but I think that Holland's got something cooking right now. I think the Hornets move to 4-0 with a win. But those are far from the only big games in Week 4 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. Abernathy wins the Battle of the Antelopes with a win over Post. Cristobal stays perfect with a win over Cross Plains. And I think Amarillo Tascosa just barely beats El Paso Americas. In DFW, I like Arlington Martin to stay perfect with a win over Rockwall. Up north, I like Gunner to edge Pilot Point. And out east, give me Carthage over Gilmer. Bernie Champion stays perfect with a win over Kerrville-Tivy. In a surprise battle of unbeatens, I like Fort Stockton to beat San Angelo Lakeview, and give me Cy Ranch to beat Upstart Bridgeland. Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial beats Corpus Christi Flower Bluff. I like LaGrange to beat Geronimo Navarro in a close one, and Flatonia keeps rolling. They beat Schulenburg. Corrigan Camden over Joaquin Midland. Greenwood over Seminole, and give me Lubbock Estacado just barely over Hereford. Decatur outslugs Graham. Laredo United gets by San Benito, and I like Robinson to beat Whitney. I like East Bernard to beat Edna. Llano beats Lago Vista. And in a battle of unbeatens, I like Sealy over Belleville. Evadale beats Deweyville. I think Mason finally finds a way past that gym net defense. I think the Punchers win. And finally, give me West Columbia over Lamarck. Ganado over Palacios. Mission Memorial over Rio Grande City. And in a battle of unbeatens, I like Panhandle to beat Vega. Pleasant Grove stays perfect with a win over Gladewater. Prosper stays perfect with a win over McKinney. And I like San Augustine to take down Tenaha. Stratford beats Spearman. Wichita Falls Ryder just edges Brownwood. And in our six-man game of the week, it's a good one. I like McLean over Balmorhea. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy Week 4 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.